For 8 whole seasons, Game of Thrones was building to this one epic confrontation, right? The living versus the dead, at the Battle of Winterfell. And, right at the center of that whole storm, there was one person we all expected to see, Jon Snow.
I mean, his entire journey, everything he did, seemed to point to this final showdown with the leader of the White Walkers. He was the one who saw the threat coming, he fought them, he united the entire world against them. So, what happened? Why didn't he get that final fight? That's the big question we're going to unpack.
So, to really understand why this is even a question, we gotta look at Jon's story, like from the very beginning. His connection to this great war is it's undeniable.
What's so fascinating when you lay it all out like this is you see what Jon's focus was the entire time. While literally everyone else was busy playing the Game of Thrones, fighting over crowns and castles, Jon was always looking north. From the moment he joined the Night's Watch to that absolutely terrifying battle at Hardhome, his destiny was always tied to the real war, the war for the living.
So the show set up this massive confrontation. All the pieces were right there on the board for a classic hero's moment. But, well, the showrunners, they had a very different idea in mind.
If you remember those final moments of the battle, we see Jon fighting his way, trying to get to the Godswood, trying to reach the Night King. The only thing that stops him is the undead dragon, Viserion. It really felt like he was just seconds away from his destiny.
And then, bam, out of absolutely nowhere, it was Arya Stark. She uses all of her training, her speed, and that super clever knife trick to just shatter the Night King and his entire army in one single move.
It was a stunning moment, right? So cinematic, and nobody saw it coming. A huge, huge win for the living. But for a lot of us watching, it left this kind of lingering question. If Arya was always going to be the one to do it, then what was the ultimate point of Jon Snow's entire journey?
And this is where we have to dig into the lore a little bit. Because Jon wasn't just a great warrior. His very existence seemed to be woven right into the fabric of prophecy.
We find out he's not Ned Stark's bastard, but Aegon Targaryen, the son of a Stark and a Targaryen. He is, quite literally, the embodiment of ice and fire. This incredibly unique lineage makes him this central figure, kind of like a bridge between the two most powerful magical forces in the entire world.
And this, of course, brings us to the famous prophecy of Azor Ahai. The legendary hero who defeated the darkness thousands of years ago and was prophesied to come back and do it again.
And Jon? Well, he fits the bill perfectly. I mean, look at the checklist. Is he brought back from the dead? Check. Does he unite rival armies? Check. Wields a powerful Valyrian steel sword. Rides a dragon. Leads humanity against the dead. Check, check, and check. Every single sign was pointing directly at him.
So if the show's ending left his purpose feeling a little bit unresolved, let's explore an alternative. This became a huge topic of fan discussion, an ending that focuses less on a surprise twist and more on a powerful thematic conclusion to his whole story.
So just imagine this for a second. What if defeating the Night King was never about being the better fighter? What if it required something way more profound, something only Jon Snow, the man of both ice and fire, could actually give?
So picture the scene. Jon finally reaches the Godswood. He realizes a duel is totally pointless, so instead he plunges Longclaw, a sword of fire magic, into the Heart Tree, the source of the old god's ice magic. This act unleashes the exact same ancient energy that created the Night King thousands of years ago, binding him to that very spot. And then, Jon makes the ultimate choice. He grabs the Night King, sacrificing himself as the magic consumes them both, and ends the long night forever.
In this version, Jon's entire journey just comes full circle. The man who dedicated his whole life to protecting the living makes the final, ultimate choice to save them, becoming a part of the very magic of the realm. Now that is a powerful and complete character arc.
So, let's compare these two endings from a storytelling perspective, because neither one is necessarily right or wrong, they serve very different purposes.
Okay, so Arya's victory, that was all about subverting our expectations. It was designed for maximum shock value, that whoa moment, and it gave her a huge defining moment. This proposed ending for Jon, though, it's about something else entirely. Emotional payoff. It's about catharsis. That feeling you get when a long, difficult journey reaches its meaningful and, inevitable conclusion.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? For many, many viewers, the desire for a complete thematic arc actually outweighed the thrill of a surprise. Jon's story felt like it had been building to a very specific purpose, and when that purpose was given to another character, it just left his journey feeling, well, a little unfinished.
And that's really what we're left with. The show gave us a spectacular, shocking moment, but the story itself allows us to imagine this other path, one of prophecy, purpose, and ultimate sacrifice. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. In the end, what makes for a better story, the surprise or the sacrifice?